Hi there, 6th grade. Welcome to the end of your day on Tuesday. We're going to go over reflexive and intensive pronouns, so you can go ahead and open up your books to page 161 and 162. As a brief review of what we've gone over so far, we introduced pronouns and antecedents. Please tell Mr. Boyd what an antecedent is. Hopefully you told him that it is the word that a pronoun replaces, and that and someone tell Mr. Boyd what a pronoun is. And hopefully you told him that that is the word that does replace the noun or noun phrase in a sentence. Okay, then we went and we actually got more specific. We jumped ahead. We went over the list of subject pronouns. So somebody really impress me and tell Mr. Boyd what your subject pronouns are. Did they get them right, Mr. Boyd? Well, in case they didn't, because they weren't so sure about them on Friday, subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, and it, we, you, they. Now somebody tell him what object pronouns are. Hopefully they did a little better with that one. If they didn't, object pronouns are me, you, him, her, and it, us, you, them. And then we went back and we covered possessive pronouns on Friday, and we said that possessive pronouns show ownership and often replace the possessive noun in a sentence. We said that a possessive noun, as well as the other pronouns, have to agree in number and gender with the antecedent. And some pronouns are used only before the noun, but then you also have a list of possessive pronouns that can stand alone. And that brings us to today, where we are going to talk about reflexive and intensive pronouns. So everyone look at the blue box while I read it. And basically, reflexive and intensive pronouns are the same list of pronouns, but they have different uses in a sentence. A reflexive pronoun ends with self or selves and renames or refers to a noun or pronoun. A reflexive pronoun can only be used as a direct object or an indirect object, and it always renames the subject. A reflexive pronoun can never be the subject. A reflexive pronoun can also be the object of a preposition that refers back to the subject. Again, I say, never use a reflexive pronoun as a subject. Never use a reflexive pronoun when it would not have an antecedent. She waved to Dan and myself. Well, there's no word in the sentence to rename myself, so it should not be there. And the correct way should be, she waved to Dan and me. Then you have an intensive pronoun. An intensive pronoun also ends in self or selves, and it adds emphasis to or intensifies the antecedent that is already in the sentence. So basically, you can only use a reflexive and intensive pronoun if there is an antecedent in the sentence that is there for it to be renamed. You can't put himself, ourself, themselves, or whatever in the sentence if there is not reference to those specific nouns already made. So now if you look at the three sentences I have up on the smart board, you have Bryson drew himself. Okay, so himself refers back to Bryson. Now, can you tell me what job does himself do in this sentence? If Bryson is my subject and Drew is my verb, himself serves as what job in the sentence? Well, hopefully, Mr. Boyd, they said that it was a direct object because himself is it's the who or the what that receives the action of being drawn, and he drew himself. Okay, then let's look at Emily walked to the store by herself. Once again, herself renames Emily. It's in the sentence, so it can be used. And what job does it do in our sentence? Okay, so hopefully you said it was an object of a preposition. So you have Emily being the subject, walked being the verb, to the store is one prepositional phrase, by herself is the final prepositional phrase. Now look at my third example. I asked myself that question. Okay, so what job? We have myself is being a reflexive pronoun to I. And what job is myself doing in that sentence? Hopefully you said that it was an indirect object because I is your subject, asked is your verb. What was receiving the action of being asked? That question. To whom or for whom was the question being asked? Myself. So that makes myself the indirect object. Okay, something else I would like to mention that's not in your blue box is that a reflexive pronoun can be used as a predicate noun when the antecedent, when it renames the subject. But a reflexive pronoun can never be used as a subject. So you can say the lead is herself. Maybe in a play, you could say the lead is herself, and therefore you have lead as the subject, is the linking verb, herself is the reflexive pronoun, renaming lead. The winners are themselves, again, predicate noun, renaming winners. Okay. So, I don't think there should be a whole lot of questions, but Mr. Boyd is going to go over pages 161 and 162 with you in class, and you're going to underline the reflexive or intensive pronouns, and you're going to draw an arrow back to the noun or pronoun that it renames. And then he will be handing out your homework page for tonight. All right, I will see you on a video again tomorrow.